Out here in the woods. Spring's here. Things start to get green, leafing out. Grass is turning, birds singing. Wind blowing up from the south. It's getting here. It's going to be. I got asked a question the other day, and I didn't know how to answer it. And it was about motorcycle riding. Okay, well, cause first of all, I'm not a motorcycle riding expert. I'm just an old guy that likes bikes. But I was flattered the guy asked me, and now I'm going to try to answer the question. Okay, he asked me if I would recommend the XL 650 as a beginner bike. Well, and here's something that everybody needs to kind of think about. Okay, and I'm not going to use the term beginner. I'm not going to use that term. I'm going to use the term experienced or inexperienced. Okay, because that's what it is. You can take myself. I'm 69 years old. I've rode motorcycles most of my life, and I've done a lot of trips. But like I said, I'm no expert. But you take me and put me on a bike that I have not ridden before, and guess what? I'm an inexperienced bike rider. I got all this experience I can draw off of to make. I know what I'm supposed to do and how to do it, but as far as the bike itself goes, and I've never rode it before, I'm inexperienced. So, and that's what I'm saying. Being an inexperienced rider doesn't mean that uh, you. It's just you don't have any experience doing that. Now, as a new rider, a new inexperienced rider, and I'm assuming that's what this guy was, and a new inexperienced rider. Okay, now here's some key points you want to do when you go out to pick your motorcycle. What kind of riding do you want to do? Okay, and apparently he likes the dual sports because he watches my channel, and I'm a dual sport guy. So he asked me if I'd recommend the XL650L for a beginner rider. No, I would not, unless everything's always got a different side. Every coin has two sides. If if you are dedicated and you're hell bent and your mindset is that's the bike you want, then that's the bike you're going to get and that's the bike you're going to learn on. Okay. Uh, I told him what I would do, and like we've all been there, most have been there. I'd go out here and I'd find me some little 100cc, 125, 150, something like this. The old dirt bikes that you usually buy for your kids, to get them out there and learn them how to ride motorcycles. I would take one of them, and this is advice I'd give to anybody. I would go out there and get one of them and take one and just run the living shit out of it. I would make that thing and try to do everything on that thing I possibly could. I would get all the experience, and you're going to bust your ass, okay? Make sure you're wearing good safety equipment because you're going to bust your ass. But you know what? You gotta learn to taste the dirt before you can learn to ride. Uh, so get out there but if you don't have access to that, like I said, every situation is different. There's no such thing as a perfect scenario. So if you're just looking for a bike that you can do some off-road riding, if you want to get into the dual sport riding, I would recommend get you a smaller bike, a 250cc, 200 class, something like that. But first of all, you've got to decide what you want to ride and how you want to ride and where you want to ride. Okay, that's the key thing. And then, I would advise everybody, if unless this is what you really want, see if you can find a used one. Okay, because you're going to drop it, you're going to crash it, you're going to have wrecks. Especially dual sport, and you're going to scratch it. And that's where getting the dirt bike out there and learning to like the taste of dirt. you know, that's where that comes in. The more dirt riding you do, the better street rider you're going to be. There might be people disagree with me, but that's why I learned. And this is all my opinion. Don't take anything I say as gospel. Just take it as just a line of shit, because that's what it is. I'm just telling you from personal experience. My experience, most of mine came from riding dirt bikes, and and I still like dirt bikes. Still love riding dirt bikes. But you can ride a dirt bike 1 year and learn more in 1 year's time than 10 years you'll learn on the road. You know, that's just my opinion. So, but anyway, if I was a new inexperienced rider, just got my, and this fella said he just got his license, I would go with the 250 class, like the XTs or Suzuki made a 200, and I think Yamaha makes the T Dub, and the Honda, of course, they make the 300L, but that's a little expensive for to be given a lot of money for something that you don't know whether you're going to be riding dual sports or not, unless you can buy the UCRF 250. So and it just depends on what kind of ride you want to do. So it's kind of a hard question to recommend a beginner bike, because there are so many different bikes out there. And first of all, you got to know what you want to ride. You know, it's like I told him, your height makes a difference, your weight makes a difference, your age makes a difference, and it's sad but true. Your testosterone level, okay? How big's your balls? I mean, it's that's putting it kind of crude, but it's just, are you a chance taker? Do you want to experience new things? Do you want to do something that you've never done? Do you want to push yourself? Okay, and this is what you gotta ask yourself. Most of us are conservative. Some of them are out there, balls to the wall and go for it type people, and I respect them. I wish I was more that way, but I'm not. I've had too many broken bones, and I'm old. So, but anyway, these are things that you got to answer for yourself. For yourself, and you got to kind of get an idea in your head what you want to do and what you want to ride and how you want to ride. Okay, and how much you're going to push yourself to become a better rider. I mean, I've seen people that's rode the street for many, many years. You put them on a dirt bike there, and the first thing they do is they drop both feet after both sides there and drag your feet because they're inexperienced. See, there's where you get that term. You can take somebody that rode a street bike for 40 years. You put them on a dirt bike, get them out there, and the first thing they're going to do is drag their feet because they're trying to get their sea legs. They don't have any idea what they're doing, but they're learning. So, and that's what I'm saying. Trying to recommend something for a beginner, they're all beginners if you never rode them before. And maybe that doesn't make any sense, but that's kind of the way I see it. And hell, maybe I don't make any sense. But you need to look at a lot of videos and decide what you want to ride and how you want to ride and what you've got to ride, where you've got to ride. Okay, and it's like these are all decisions you have to make. And then when you go pick out your first bike, remember one thing: the heavier the bike, the harder it is to handle. The lighter it is, the more nimble it is, and so it's kind of hard to say what's a good beginner bike. Like I said, I don't like using the term beginner. I just like using I don't know, your experience level. But you got to build your experience. So you gotta, maybe this don't make any sense, but it's things that you've got to decide. Like I said, I don't know this guy's age. I don't know his height. I don't know his weight. I don't know anything about him, so I can't really recommend a bike. But the only thing I can recommend is go sit on bikes. Go, and if you got some friends got bikes, and they'll let you putt around. Go putt around on them. Get all the experience you can, and that will make a big deciding factor. But remember, when you buy your first bike, if I would try to buy a used bike first, and that way, if it's not exactly what you want, you could sell it. Instead of putting out $8,000-9,000 for a bike and you ride it for 2 weeks, you think, man, I hate this son of a bitch. This ain't what I wanted. So you gotta kind of know what you want. If you get a chance, you got friends, you got access to people that's got different type bikes, and if they'll let you, then try them out. So, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to recommend and I know what he's looking for. And like I said, in that respect, a person that's just first got their license. Uh, and the reason why I'm hesitant to say that, it's like we'll say the guy wants to be a street rider, okay? So if he wants to be a dual sport rider, I'd recommend the small 250 displacement bikes, okay? But if he wants to be a street rider, you've got things like what is that, 310 Yamaha, where it is. You got that 300 Ninja, whatever it is, and but that's a whole different ball game. You've got that versus 300. So it's like, so it just depends on what kind of ride you want to do. If you want to get into the cruisers, then you go with the, Honda makes them. Can't think what the hell they're called. Can't think of what they're called now. The cruiser type, depending on what kind of bike you want to ride. That's the decision you have to make. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make sense. And maybe I got people confused more than I helped them, but all I'm trying to do is get you to think about what you want. You got to pick out what fits you. You got to get in your head the kind of riding you want to do, and how you want to ride it, and how you want to push your skill level. And you're the only person to do that. So maybe I didn't make any sense, but I hope I don't. I just hope I helped a little bit. Anyway, ride safe, ride free.